Hello, everybody. Welcome to Alien Addict on this fine Saturday. Um, we're live on YouTube right now and Rumble because we sorted that stuff out because we get stuff done eventually. Um, Before we start with the show, you know this bit, don't you? I want you to like, share, subscribe. If you want to help the channel out, you can become a channel member. You can also check the links down below. You can become a patron. You can go and buy one of our fine shirts, of which we have like four, I would say, perfect conspiracy theory t-shirts that any of you can buy. Obviously, my own personal t-shirt is pretty close to my heart. Um, There's a patron you can sign up to. There's all that sort of stuff. But realistically, just share the show if you can't spare anything else, and that helps us. Also, if you want to like nip off halfway through the show, you got something else to do. You've got to go to bed. Maybe it's late where you are. You can go and check our show out on all major podcast platforms. We have shows coming out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that would be last Friday's show hits Monday, tonight's show hits Wednesday, and tomorrow's show will hit next Friday. That's how our podcast thing works. So you can get that everywhere. If you do listen to the podcast or you listen to the podcast right now, I would like you to give us a 5-star review. Say whatever you want about us. The words don't matter. The stars matter. To just make sure you give us say the horriblest things you want, to be perfectly honest, but make sure you do it with a 5-star review. David, I thought I'd bring you in just as you were drinking.
You're not coming through your mic.
Oh, that's not good. Am I coming through something?
Funny. Hey, did you tell everyone about the t-shirts?
I did tell people about the t-shirts.
Did you tell them they can subscribe to the channel and become a member?
I told them they could subscribe and become a member. I told them the podcast. I did the whole thing. I did all of the things.
Did you tell them we have 3 unique podcasts?
We have 3 unique podcasts that come out like later on during the week, scattered. So essentially, if you really enjoy us, then you can listen to us all weekend and then slowly through the week as you build up again to new shows at the weekend. It's the perfect system. Perfect.
Or if you really hate us, that's just listen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. Yeah.
I'm pretty happy we've got the Rumble live stream like going now. That's good. I'm glad that there is content going to Rumble.
Are you paying attention to Rumble so we can check questions there?
I have a small chat box up now on my little screen in front of me, which has the chat for Rumble on it. So if you want to get in touch with us on Rumble, you can do. Yeah, that's kind of about it. I was just I was checking some stuff out before we came on, and I'm sure again people are going to start like throwing other conspiracies and stuff at us as the show goes on. But you sent it to me ages ago about the Easter Island thing.
Yeah,
in our little personal chat. Now, I looked at it, but it was a Reedy article, and I prefer my information to come at me from a hyperactive millennial over the time period of about 30 to 40 seconds in a TikTok. So I heard about the Easter Island thing. That's bizarre. And I like it. And the funny thing is about that is it's so bizarre because it's so quiet.
Yeah, nobody's talking about it. Yeah. They reported that it's just a grass fire and the grass fire burned and people was like, it's no big deal. And then you find out a bunch of the statues were damaged. How does a stone statue get damaged by fire? A grass fire. It's not like there's trees.
Statue, which has been around for how many years and survived how many, depending on which archaeologist you listen to, they could have survived like multiple cataclysms.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know. That's the wild thing. I don't know, man. I don't know what that means. Or anything. Maybe it is just a grass fire. Maybe the stone is very susceptible to
Have you seen the pictures of the stones now?
Yes, though? I have.
Maybe
it's a directed energy weapon at maybe they were testing it there. Or maybe they were erasing something.
Maui.
Way underground.
Maui. the Georgia
9/11.
Guidestones.
Oh well, that Georgia Guidestones weren't directed energy. That was a bomb.
No. Well, it was directed. It was definitely directed energy, but it was in a package.
It was poorly directed energy. Poorly directed energy. Yeah. But actually, that brings up a good thing. I think the Georgia Guidestones probably have more to do with Easter Island. Because if you're covering up information for some reason, like you get rid of the things that are etched in stone, right? Things you don't want people to know. Because allegedly the heads are bodies, and those bodies are holding things in their hands, and they've been excavating them as time goes on.
Well, there's pictures of like one of them excavated, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah. Who's the black dude? Which does he's quite famous, like conspiracy theorist, UFO guy. He does lots of Gaia stuff. Oh God, I can't remember his name. Someone in the chat will know his name. Tell me his name. In fact, I can't remember his name, so just tell me a name and I'll believe it.
Bob.
Bob. That's it. But yeah, he was saying that he's been trying to get onto Easter Island for someone's there saying Billy Carson. Could be Bill Cosby for all I fucking know.
It's Billy Carson's one of many people that want to go out there and do a thing.
Yeah.
He's been pretty vocal about this too.
Yeah, and I know, I think it is him. He was saying like how he's been trying to get onto the island, he can't get onto the island, and how all of a sudden this has happened, and obviously people have got onto the island with some sort of fuel, because there has to have been some fuel to have done these fires. Well, or did there have to be fuel to do the fires?
I mean, if you're damaging stone, there has to be something. So it's either fuel or energy.
Mm-hmm.
If directed energy weapons are a thing, it would make the most sense. But why would you target Easter Island? There's nothing there.
It's not just the fact there's no one there. There's no it's not like you can get there easily either.
No, you cannot. There's nothing around there. Yeah, it's a you're going there. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is pretty weird. I saw earlier in the chat, if I bring it up, topic definitely worth jumping to. Amy Eskridge, who died in Huntsville, Science Town, Huntsville, NASA, and I think DARPA has an office there.
I have no idea what this is or who Amy Eskridge is.
It was one of the people who was on her own working on like anti-gravity and teleportation and other sciences in that field, and allegedly she was, she's dead, right? Let's go to that. She's dead. And the question from Tracy, who is our green member, so that definitely jumps up there. Thank you for that. Why do so many people who work in the field of teleportation end up suicidal? I don't think it's just teleportation. I think it's a host of those other technologies that take the power from those in charge.
Yeah, and it must be quite stressful. Like I bet there's people out there which have done like crazy things, and there's a bit of me wonders whether they can even keep that sort of thing secret. I would guess if you're dealing with those sort of levels of energy, there is some way of like reading them when they happen.
Yes.
And then I'm going to guess you get a knock on the door. But even if you manage to not get a knock on the door because of what you're doing, where'd you go with it? Do you know what I mean? I think if you're so deep into something, especially when it comes to like free energy or propulsion or like teleportation, that sort of stuff, yeah, the risks you're taking. You know how much this can shake stuff up. So let's just say you do it. You 100% nail a free energy device. There it is. It's like it can be cost effective to make. It can fit in the size of a suitcase. We can mass produce this. Where do you take it?
It's a good question. Yeah. So isn't her dad famous too in the game? Yeah. So she had claimed, and I guess he did as well, that he had already developed anti-gravity. In fact, apparently it's been discovered and come up multiple times. And every time it happens,
Her dad wasn't the guy that was levitating the bowling balls and stuff, was it?
I don't think so. I don't know though. Check out Alien Podcast with her. I would like to. I haven't done that yet. I will. That is on my list of things to do. Her full podcast, Jeremy Reyes and Mark, was heartbreaking to watch. Especially, I've seen clips of it. Yeah, I've definitely watched the clips of it. I haven't watched the whole thing. I've been very busy as of late.
Sorry, Jamie, just put in notes. Hutchinson, the guy that was
the Hutchinson effect.
Yeah.
I
thought that was when you did stuff to yourself, like with something around your neck in a wardrobe.
Oh no, that's they named that after the Kung Fu Legend guy, right?
No, it was the Michael Hutchinson effect.
Oh, was that the boy from NXS?
Yeah.
Oh, it's dark humor for you. Yeah, I mean that's so. Mods Mayhem said they wouldn't come to your door, laugh out loud. They'd send 3 orbs. So this conversation is serendipitous of a conversation I had last night that disturbed me, which is a fairly difficult thing to do. And this is weird. Like there's different. Like Jeremy and all his guys that are outside the government periphery. And this poor young girl and her father, who are all outside, right? They're all on the outside doing their own science, non-funded by the state, making discoveries. They're, doing the Lord's work.
Mm-hmm. Actual science.
They're the ones who have accidents, right? They'll get threatened first. They'll get intimidated. The FBI will show up. Doesn't that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
They'll take things, clone hard drives, maybe follow you around if you're perceptive and you notice. If you're not perceptive, like it doesn't. That's the thing about like intimidating science types. It's difficult because they don't really notice the world like around them. Like other people and odd behaviors, they just do. You know what I mean? It's not tracking in most of their brains, at least my experience with them. So, more overt things happen if you're going to intimidate someone like that. If you're in the government world, what they do is you disappear, you and your family, everyone who was working on the project, you all go somewhere else. Everybody, middle of the night, you're gone. I'm not saying dead. I'm just saying gone.
Mm-hmm.
Relocated, different projects somewhere else. And the weird thing is that everyone at the facility, nobody speaks of you ever again. They just stop. And nobody asks any questions. Nobody brings it up. It's not like, oh, hey, where'd Jim go? And everyone's just like, well, when Jim's not here. Like that's continue on with your project and your analysis. You now have more work. Otherwise men in polo shirts that are tucked into khakis that are a little too tight for some reason are going to sit you down in a boardroom with your boss in a suit, and everybody's going to be nervous as they stare at you through sunglasses that they don't need to be wearing inside. Yeah, that's the overt scaring of the nerds. It's so. I mean, the original question is, why would they do something like that, right? Because as I ramble on, I mean, that's obvious. Control. It's not even money. Like at this point, people who pull strings, it's not about money. People like billionaires want more money. No, they don't. They have unbelievable amounts of wealth. Unbelievable amounts of wealth. It's not about power. It's not about wealth at that point. It's about power and control.
Yeah. I mean the Jeremy thing when he got raided by the FBI. I mean he's going to come on the show on a Sunday in a few weeks' time. I think. I'm looking forward to that show. I think that's one of the things. It's you get people on and like Jeremy talks to other people all the time, and there's always like UFO stuff and propulsion stuff and the MH370 has been such a big topic now, but it would be nice to speak to him and get like a feeling of how that affects you, that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. They sit they're just thugs. Like they sent thugs to his workplace to scare and intimidate and harass. Like that's what happens. They themselves don't know what's going on. They don't care. they're paid to do this thing, and they're going to go on and do the thing, and they're going to, push people around and throw their authority around and try to intimidate. And if they can get a good reason to arrest someone, and they're going to act friendly, but their eyes are never going to smile, and they're not being friendly. And they're going to look for anything that you say that can be construed as a lie, because in the United States, lying to a federal agent is a felony. Even if you misspeak. That's why you don't speak to them without an attorney present. Period. You don't unlock your phone. You don't open it. You say, I need to talk to an attorney. Make sure you have at least one phone number memorized. And they'll say, well, here, and this is fun fact for anyone who ever has to deal with the feds. If they hand you your phone, it's like, here, feel free to call someone. We'll let you call your attorney or whatever, and you unlock it, call them. They'll snatch it out of your hand before it has a chance to close, and it's opened, and that's fair game. They don't need a warrant. You unlocked it. That's what they do, at least in America. That's why you say, I'll wait till we, get to your office. If you're arresting me, you have to book me. I want my attorney. I'm going to sit still till then. And then you call someone to get a hold of your attorney or get you an attorney. Well. Yeah, that will be a good show, Tracy. I look forward to that as well. I'm curious to see all the fallout of the FBI raid.
Did you happen to listen to the podcast that Joe Rogan did the other day with the? Did you say her name? Palooza?
You mean the person who was there almost perfectly to entice him? To cater to everything that he's interested in the exact way he's interested in, and then to pat him on the back constantly during the interview of how intelligent he is and how much he knows, how wonderful he is.
She's been on that show, I want to say 4 times in the past.
I like this rotary motion flirt. She's flirting. I don't think she was flirting.
See, that was I couldn't put my finger on whether she just fancied Rogan a bit, because there's a couple of people that are regulars on Rogan that
they wash his balls. Yeah.
What's her name? Tulsi Gabbard is another one. And what?
Yep, keep going.
And you think to yourself, I think that either someone's like definitely having a longer cuddle than they should be having, or they're into Joe. But I just found the whole show like really interesting. I think I find it strange how she's gone from like religious scholar to like to crashed spaceships.
She's not, though. She's still doing the same thing. And when you listen to her, just me, this is just me, right? Maybe I'm way wrong on this. I'm wrong about many things regularly. What I took away is she's laying foundational work and planting seeds that the new religion is aliens, and they are beings of light and goodness that are returning, because that's Joe Rogan has I wouldn't say a similar view to that he's at least said in public, but he kind of tap dances around like whatever's in the DMT realm. It's always good. He's only ever had good experiences. He knows the people have had bad ones, but he's never had a bad one. And that's a very common thing you hear from him. I thought it was interesting that her entire message from the get-go was curtailed immediately to Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan's philosophy. Joe Rogan's philosophy in life is work hard, train hard, physicality, manly, blah, blah, blah. And that's, she's like, Plato, and this is what it was. And he was a wrestler and all this. What is this? What is this doing? But when you listen, she's saying key words. She continues to reference protocols. Well, they have these protocols. She's planting these seeds long in the conversation. She's constantly complimentary to him, and she seems like his type.
But the other one as well was I noticed whenever it came about secrecy, she always justified the secrecy. She justified well, I'm an American citizen, and obviously I want us to be secure, and and if this is a security risk, then that, it's a security risk.
Her Tyler character, she kept talking about. I thought that was interesting. There's another Tyler character that is brought up in what was it? I can't think. Having a brain fart. Anyway, speak to her. Her Tyler character. She's talking about how he's a physical person. He's an athlete. He, has all these different patents. He works for Space Force, does all these different things, and kind of building. She's laying excellent narrative work, and when she's building this character, right? And obviously she knows that. She studies religion. She understands the importance and power of storytelling, and she's setting it up that way. That's why you can't trust her, right? And she's not doing it for us, the audience. That whole thing was for Joe. She was there for Joe. She was there to convince Joe, and she was there to lay in like, hey, Joe, I can connect you with these people. I think that is, he's going to have her on because of her books and her public work. But 100% she was there for Joe Rogan.
Do you think she's been sent to get him back on board? Because he seemed to have, he was fallen off a bit.
I don't think, see, that's the thing, is we have to be careful with that. Like, I don't think anyone's making it, I don't think you could make an approach to Joe Rogan and say, hey, Joe Rogan, we're with government. We're going to give you this thing. We need you to push our storyline, but we'll give you the answers. I don't think you'd do it.
No.
But I think if you bait to his belief system, right? Because obviously she understood you could see his buy-in while she's talking. It was amazing. You know what I mean? That's some evangelical right there, man. Wow. Well done, lady. Well done. Yeah, so I think that they're trying to get him to buy into their narrative for their side of the story. That's what I took away from the interview. I don't trust her at all. Everything just tickled in the back of my neck, and I was like, "Ooh, this is that manipulative speak." You know what I mean? This is she doesn't look like a dangerous or manipulative person, but listening to her talk, like, that's why she's dangerous. Is very strange. Maybe I'm 100% wrong on her, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm an overly paranoid person, definitely.
I think the other thing to think is not to get too sucked up either in the right. There was something screwy about it. She seemed to be sent there to butter Rogan up. She was sent by the government, because I think we need to get more in line of like the faction side of what's going on here. Yeah,
faction of the government sent her.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: why doesn't he have Travis Taylor on?
Yeah.
He's got a PhD in optical physics. He's worked for Arrow. He's worked for DARPA. He's
national celebrity now.
He's got all the clearances through the wazoo. This guy's had personal experiences. When you listen to interviews he's done with Knapp and other people, and he talks about the hitchhiker phenomenon and the attachment phenomenon. Like, this is a guy who's well-versed to do that. Not a cutesy little religious professor who's, oh, that's amazing. You knew that by that's
why isn't
you're so good. What do you mean, lady?
I think these three guys.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, she's like, oh, I didn't know that about the pineal gland and the walnut. You're a professor of religion. You should know it. All the symbols in the Catholic Church are. You yourself are Catholic. Seems strange. Seems strange that someone who knows these in-depths of the Rosicrucians and whatnot, that you wouldn't know that fact, and then we're going to placate Rogan for 8 minutes. Like, what a bold move, which makes me think that that's a big upfront out there push that a lot of people would recognize, I think. So that's operating right out there. I don't know, man, but factions is correct. Factions. Yeah.
You see that? Because I'm not so black-pilled to the point that I don't believe that there's at least some sort of good force out there. Like, if there's dark forces working behind the scenes, I think there has to be good forces as well, because if there wasn't, it would all be over. The game would be done. Yeah, we wouldn't have got out of our homes 4 years ago.
He can message, but he can't come on. Yeah, I noticed that too. She talked about all the things that he was into. It was definitely catered to him. That this was a pitch to him. This was what I would call this is the introductory meeting. Like, this is when you have your mark, you send someone out to make the first contact. They're not pushing anything. They're not asking for anything. They're only kind of maybe loudly putting out and talking about things that you love, that are your favorite things. Then what do? Well, I also like those things you do. I love those things. And well, now we're kind of buddies. Hey, I tell you what, I got a friend over here. He'll hook us up, man. He's good to go. He's just like us. Right now, we start to use that inclusive language. We're together on this. We're doing something together. Yeah. And then you get over to the other side, and once you walk around the corners, when you get rolled, right? She's the bait on the hook.
I see. What I did think is, and this goes with your line of thinking. She did seem to know things that she couldn't say, and I think
100%.
she was, and you could tell there was an eagerness. There was an eagerness there to overshare, and every time she got close to the line, she had to rein herself back in.
That was 100% fake. 100% fake. 100% fake. She was doing that so that after this show, she has another reason to connect with Rogan, because she made it clear that she didn't sign anything. She can talk about the things she's heard and seen.
But yeah,
she's not.
That doesn't make sense though, because she'll be back on anyway. It's like, because she's
no, not on the show.
Time guest.
No, this isn't. It has nothing to do with the show. Whether she's on 10 times more or none, that is not her purpose. Her purpose is to start texting with Joe Rogan and get that phone number and have that in.
Right.
To be one of his. Now she can start helping feed him guests because he trusts her, because we like all the same things and she's saying all the right things. It's a very simple way to work somebody. And it's just, I was just watching it. And I was like, she is his mark. He's the John and he doesn't even know it. You know what I mean? He's getting worked. Come on, Joe.
Be interested to know how he felt about that show after the fact.
Yeah, so I think Tracy had made a comment about that. He said his next guest will be telling, as you're not the only person to think this. I can't be the only person to think this. I can't be. But yeah. Well, see, here's someone said government wants tracking. They already have they have tracking on everybody's phone. Everybody's phone is corrupt. There is no secure phone in the world, because you have to use public service, and you're gotten. So that's not it. What they need is someone in his circle of trust who can influence. I don't think they have anyone. The fact that, or at least whatever faction she is with, tells me they don't have anyone Joe's circle. Right? They don't have anyone on the largest podcast in the world. They're on the outside, which I think that's very interesting.
I think that's a purposeful move as well by Rogan. Is
definitely
because from the outside, Rogan's team is him and Jamie, and you get this feeling that there is just a unit somewhere with Joe Rogan experience written on the back of it, and they turn up there in the morning, and somebody brings them a guest in like in an Uber, and they get out and they speak to Jordan Peterson for a couple of hours, then they go home. Then they never go into the fact really that, I mean, he's got like full-time fucking ex-military security on that place, and
surely one of those guys who have had like in-field training, right, for like ground group or something, are like, hey Joe, she's working you. This is they surely somebody would do that. Someone asked, is that why Lazar, Corbell, and Knapp? I think they were on there just pushing a documentary. I don't think they're pushing anything for the government to try. Corbell, I think, is just a mouthpiece. He puts. I get some people don't like him. Whatever. I like his documentaries. I think they're very well done.
I think they are the best UFO documentaries.
I concur. Yes, 100%. They're not for hardcore conspiracy theorists. They're for the normies, right? They're not for us. They're for everybody else. So I think they were just pushing that. Same thing with Knapp. I don't believe Knapp or Corbell or government anything. I think they move with their own agenda. They try to make money and fame, and that's how they do that. And they get information to do that. that's a world in which they have been picked to traverse, and that's good for them. Lazar, that's a whole other animal.
Yeah, they're the perfect pair, aren't they? Because you had Nap that was kind of just being lost in the shuffle a bit and forgotten about. Jeremy Corbell, who's got this sort of excitable energy about him that Nap simply just hasn't got. The Nap's seems like a nice guy, but he has no charisma. And the two of them make a pretty like complementary duo. I think they're fed stuff. I think they're fed stuff from people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
but I don't think they're putting it out in any sort of like nasty way or anything like that. I think they're genuinely putting stuff out because they think in all good faith. In the same way as like a Benowitz Doty situation. They're just being fed.
Yeah, Doty is just doing his job.
Go Beyond said, if I can get my mouse to wake up. What about James Fox? James Fox, for me, I've watched everything he's done. I can't think of them. No, I've got bloody Greer documentaries in my head, but yeah, I've watched James Fox's stuff before. For me, the last documentary, kind of, I kind of fell off that because that felt like I don't believe that incident. I don't believe that like that alien story, and he kind of I think he kind of outed himself, and like big Clinton fan, big Hillary Clinton fan. That's now, like in 2024, if someone turns around to you and says, Clinton, they're both swell, I think there's something wrong with you.
It's funny you say that because that chick's narrative on Rogan immediately jumped out to me of the Clinton narrative. That they're the gods returning, that they're to be worshipped through these because that's the Clinton narrative. And when I hear that, I immediately like, ooh. And then when she started getting into the religion and the way she's very good. She's very good. She starts spinning things and then at the same time she's talking about the angels and this and that and okay, all right, whatever. Her whole presentation I felt is very deceptive, and at the very end she dropped the fallen angel, and Joe, interestingly enough, didn't gloss over that. He's like, what, he has books on fallen angels? And she's like, well, yeah, I mean, he has a big library, it's diverse, and so diverse, why wouldn't you reference literally any other thing other than that?
Yeah, that's a fine point.
You could have said anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a really good point. The Great Awakening thing as well. The Great Awakening thing she chucked in at the end.
I like that. That's good. That's clever. Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, I mean that's something that's always kind of put my hackles up about Greer. Because the reality is the Clintons are longtime intelligence community people. I mean, that started when he was outside of occult things, whatever you believe on that, when he was governor of Arkansas, and they were flying cocaine and troops and pictures and drugs during the 80s in and out of Arkansas, out of a landing strip there. I mean, they made a whole movie with Tom Cruise in it about that. Like, that all happened, and then they left the guy out to hang.
The bald guy, British guy, went to prison for drug runner. He wrote a book about it, didn't he? Was it the boy on the tracks? It was another one of the people that happened to have a sticky end, which were to do with the Clintons.
There's a lot of those people. A lot of people get sticky ends, or
62,
just sticky.
62 unalivings.
I love that. Did you see the Patrick Bet-David interview when he was with Padet? Who was it? Oh,
it was with Anthony Weiner.
Yeah, and he starts, and Wiener just keeps trying to spin. He's like, "You're good. You're good. You're not spinning out of this, though." And he even told us, like, you are giving the answer right now. Your reaction is the answer. Because his question, if he would have just shut up and sat there, his question was like, why would all this continue on? Like, this seems nonsensical. That was his question.
Podcast was a real line in the sand for Patrick Davis, wasn't it?
He picked a side that day.
Yeah,
he picked a side that day
because he chose then never to have any of those people back on his show again, or do business with that side of the world.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this one. This Greer thing. I don't know what Greer thinks. I've never met him. And if I did meet him, I doubt he would tell me what's honestly going on in his head.
Do you find it weird that none of these people? That it's a good point. I think this sort of thing quite a lot. Because I thought about it when people started accusing like Ashton of like trying to run a cult and stuff like that, and I find it odd, like just when people, just because you have like regular listeners and a few fans, it doesn't all of a sudden mean you like making a cult. We definitely are trying to start a cult.
100%. We have some. We have a website dedicated to it. And actually, I'm joking about that, but we should put up a cult website. Like, I just thought I think that's a great idea. I got a guy who could do it for us. The Cult of Alien Addict. I'm going to text him now.
I'm in. Yeah. The thing is, like, we went through a real high point of cults. There was a real rich vein. There was a real rich vein of cults.
It's the golden age of cults.
Yeah.
When was this golden age? Waco? Did we fall under Waco?
I think it tapered off after the Heaven's Gate. I think Heaven's Gate.
Why?
Was
Dude, their website's still up. They're still selling merch.
Oh, what, black Nikes?
Punch. Punch packets.
God, I'm throwing now. I'm absolutely derailed.
You're talking about the golden age of cults?
Yeah. So in this age of instant communication and like online video and like what we're doing now, like, can you imagine what a young Charles Manson could have done with the internet?
Well, I mean, he was dosed by LSD by the CIA.
MK Ultra up the wazoo.
Yeah, they 100%. Aren't we trying to get someone on who claims they were MK Ultra?
Yes, I believe so.
Let's not say the name.
No, let's not say the name. I don't think we will, actually. I don't think that person's doing interviews anymore. But
we can hope.
Messages were sent. But yeah, I just wonder where those people are. Like, where are the? Maybe they just all naturally go into politics now, or because
Do we not have sweatshirts available in our swag shop?
No, we only have t-shirts now.
Why are we not doing sweatshirts?
Because the idea was just trying to keep the site clean, so it's dead easy for people to go on and buy stuff.
Well, I mean, we have someone who wants to buy a sweatshirt.
We can make a sweatshirt.
Which sweatshirt? Why don't we just click a sweatshirt for each of them? Yeah. All about selling. We can't not sell someone something. I got my second shirt today, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, because my first one was lost in the mail, so they gave me another one. Like they were because of everything, and then I guess the mail found it.
Bonus shirts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just makes me wonder. Makes me wonder why we don't have like these like cult of personality people that are starting let's start online cults, like real online cults. I suppose we've had a couple with like the what was it? Scientology could be.
That's not online. They're very in person. That's the thing about a cult is a cult needs to isolate you. Like their belief systems, things need to happen. You know what I mean?
Thank you for the pledge, the altar of the Alien Addict cult. You shall, being the first donor to the cult, you will always hold favor.
Correct. The alien gods, thank you. Your supplication. 10 wives stuff. You have 10 wives. I mean, I feel like we should address this because I had this same conversation the other night. Some of our friends, we were joking with one of the guys about his sister wife. Would you really want to be married to more than one woman?
No. Sounds like a terrible
I'm
move.
married. I've been married 17 years. Been with her 20. I love my wife. I love her to death. Would I want to? No. Because I'm going to come home and they're going to be furious at me over shit that didn't happen because they were able to bounce it off each other. And there's a whole narrative now filled in with the, person behind clapping on the back. It's like if you ever been with a significant other and they may wake up mad at you because they had a dream, like times 2, right? Like, whoa.
You'd only make it through one night because like I don't know how many men listen to this podcast are used to the
fair enough.
Like the koala bear type sleeping girlfriend, which like the minute you fall asleep, they kind of just like attach themselves to a bit of you. Like 10 people doing that. Like you are fucking shriveling up like a prune by the time the morning comes.
Questions for you.
Is it true that Ollie has tiny little Jeremy Beadle hands and so he wears prosthetic gloves to give him the illusion of normal human hands? Yes, that is 100% true.
Like this. Alien addicts are normal people. No. No. No, we're not.
No one in the comments is normal. Let's be
You're
honest
here watching us. That's not normal. The fact there's 61 of you is phenomenal. It blows my mind.
I tell you what I looked at today as well. It was one of our listeners put it in the comments for the last video, and I kept thinking of the wrong Air Force Base. Is it Holloman Air Force Base?
I don't know. Is that a question?
Yeah, and well, no, there was a UFO thing there, and like it was supposed to be like a UFO had landed, and there is a video from the Air Force Base that shows like a video of this thing that's showing this light going down. And I was getting really into it. I'd never heard of this before. I was like, getting more in. Then I found a video of a guy like basically just upped the explosion, did some stuff, and it was just a plane.
I feel like we're using the word normal a little loose there. How about superior? I get behind that.
Yeah, I think so. The best
superior,
people.
And we're so superior. We like to act normal just so we don't, trigger anyone else.
Yeah, because it'd be horrible to trigger people. But yeah, no, I was dead upset about that Holloman's Air Force Base thing. So it looked like it was really a real good one to like dive into. And then the next thing, I got debunked on me within 30 seconds. I also, because I watched a debunking video, had the misfortune of watching a Corridor Crew video shortly after it.
No, I feel like we need to say it's 100% real.
No, it wasn't them doing it, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have done. I'd doubled down. But yeah, that's a strange channel. They are a strange 3 men, those.
So, yeah, I did hear her say that. I don't think it's strange. So for those listening, not reading Rotary Motions, going back to the Pesuluka, she had to have an easy name, didn't she? Didn't you hear the part about they use this place all the time to dump their old UFOs like donations? Found that odd. I think it's a very interesting narrative to paint if you're going once again with the benevolent, trying to raise us up or guide us towards creation, and it's all very strange.
We've all been given a free car now and again.
What? I've never had a free car.
I've had a couple of free cars, but yeah, it's like
what? When did you get? How'd you get free cars?
I got the pub now and again, and like if my car's broken down, someone turns around and says, "Oh, I've got a car. You can have it if you want." I'll go, "Okay, thank you."
What?
I've had a couple of nice cars as well.
I just give you a car. I got a nice car. You can have it.
Well, yeah. That didn't sound weird until I said it.
Yeah. Let's. What did you do
Nothing
for this car? I feel like
bought the
something
pints.
happened. I feel like something happened.
You can buy a lot for a pint in the UK, especially now because they're very expensive. But yeah, you can get a lot for a pint.
Like a car.
Yeah, the amount of things people will do, and they go, "Oh, do you want paid for that? Oh, sorry, just get us a pint."
All right, man.
Moody Mongol has also seen the same video I watched as well. Hira's video, original TV version of the Holloman video. The UFO was an F-14 Phantom. Yeah, I think you're right as well.
I'm still caught on this car thing. I feel like we need to dive more into that. How many cars have you gotten?
Two Ford Focuses, actually.
People really hate Ford Focuses on your island.
No, they're good cars. I like a Focus.
They're just giving them away?
Yeah.
Did you check it with a UV light? Did anybody disappear on your island?
I mean,
was it the same person?
My fingerprints are on it now anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. Because that's what, hypothetically, if you ever lost your cool and did something to somebody, whatever you did it with, give it away. I'm not saying that's legal advice. I'm just saying it's a fun thought experiment.
Rotary motion. I'm in the UK. I'll narrow myself down to about 85,000 people for you. I'm in the Isle of Man.
You just need to start saying it's your island.
I mean, it kind of is.
Not like the guy from Braveheart. It's my island. Ireland? Yeah, it's mine.
Didn't work out well for him though, did it?
He lived a hell of a life.
Well, that's all like really dramatized and wrong. And like when the actual battle happened, he was found fucking hiding in a well, which is what I'd have done, to be perfectly honest.
And what
I still might do, because the when do you know we're talking about conscription in the UK now? If there's a war,
you don't have that.
No,
you've never had that.
What?
You didn't have like selective service, or
no?
You have to register at 18.
Nope.
Like if you ever get called up, really? Oh, learn something new every day. In the US, it is all males.
Is it?
Yes. If you don't, it's like a felony. Like it's a big deal.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They tell you what you do. You find up, and they're like, if we ever have to draft, this is what they draft from.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were apparently going for men from up to 60. That's what they were talking about over here. That's a lot of people.
So, what can I say? Yeah, saved me. My girlfriend, like, don't you dare fall asleep before me. Mia's like, why? She's like, you mofo snort. She snore. I guess like Norway. Mia's not dead. Paranormal phenomenon. Now I look like Darth Vader while sleeping. Oh, sleep apnea mask. Thank you for the donation.
Thank you.
We need to come up with like a whole thing, when we're doing this, since we're a cult now. Can't say bless you.
No, that's already been had.
Yeah, that's worn out.
They're pretty big as well. We can't go straight after like the biggest religion first, can we?
Yeah, no. I always say, blute. Yeah, same thing. But it's for our religion, our cult, blute.
Okay.
Yeah. Till we think of something better.
May the orbs be with you, brother.
Oh, there you go. I like that. May the orbs be with you. Yep. It's something's definitely brewing. Here in the U.S. as well, the Navy just lowered their entrance. You don't have to have graduated high school. You don't have to have a GED. Here, if you drop out of high school, you get a GED. It's like a general education degree. Good as, and it is just taking a test to get out. Some people do it to get out early. So you have to have. You don't have. You used to have that to go to the military, and then they have a ASVAB. It's general testing of knowledge and basic skills, whatever. I forget what the acronym is. And it used to be like 60, 70, 80, depending on what you wanted. Now it's 50. Gotta get 50, which is low. For anyone listening, that's low. You don't have to graduate high school. You don't have to have any kind of degree. You can get a 50, which means you're barely functional, and they're taking you into the Navy. They're trying to get up people. I think they're going to waive citizenship soon. In fact, I know they have for like kids who were like anchor babies born here. People like when they come here, they have a kid here. Kid's a U.S. citizen, so they can stay, and the parents kind of get to ride it, but they're never really a citizen. If your kid who's an anchor baby serves in the military or National Guard, you can get citizenship for your parents.
Wow. Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I just found that out the other day. I didn't know that. That's crazy, man. Like they're really trying to bust up numbers, and there's some other things going on that I wouldn't say frighten me, but concern me. Out in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, they're building some new facilities they've been talking about to like do enrichment facilities and like lithium separation facilities. And you need the, enriched and separated lithium to make nuclear weapons. While they're decommissioning old stuff, they're building brand new state-of-the-art stuff. And it's like, I thought we were getting out of this. Why are we building these new massive things? It's concerning.
I tell you what is concerning is the Denver thing as well. Have you seen the virus research facility that's being built in Denver?
Fantastic place for it.
Yeah. So they've also just done, and I don't know. I mean, this is all public knowledge and news. So I think this is all YouTube friendly. In the university, there's a university that's close to it that deals with research into viruses and stuff like that. And they've just given like, sorry, no, it's not a university. It might be the hospital. So they so they can deal with it if in the event of an Ebola outbreak. They've just vaccinated like all of that part. If you've got a highly infectious disease, you get sent to them if you're in Denver.
In Colorado, a couple people were injected with live Ebola virus.
Yeah, well, the Ebola, the Ebola virus is a live attenuated vaccine. So,
no. I mean, like, apparently they got sick.
No. Well, this is the thing. Apparently, and it's again in the packaging. So this for YouTube, this is not misinformation or anything like that, but in the packaging for I think it's what's it called? I can't remember what the vaccine was called. But anyway, it had like a 35% shed rate, which it sounds like phenomenal thing to be happening.
They're medical professionals, Lee. They wouldn't lie to us. How dare you question them?
I'm not questioning. I'm quoting them. I'm doing the exact opposite of questioning. I'm quoting.
I like this. What is disease X I keep hearing about? The next COVID. I think disease X is I believe it's called the election virus, and nobody gives a shit. So they're moving on to something else.
I just hope that the thing with disease X is, first of all, disease X should have come out in the 90s, because in the 90s we were putting X on fucking everything. Like Extreme was spelled with an X. Fucking X-Men was really big. We could have given disease X that cool theme tune, the yeah, okay. There's a whole marketing thing for it.
Definitely. Didn't Biden say off mic he wanted army age men coming into the U.S. vis-a-vis South America? this whole Texas border thing, that's about that. True. We cannot talk about that on YouTube. Yeah, we can't talk about that on YouTube. That would be a bad idea.
Yeah. I thought I saw a really good interview before, just literally as I was getting ready to come and fire the stuff on in the podcast stream. I watched a clip of Tucker Carlson's talking like circuit thing he's going on, where it was him and Jordan Peterson on stage, and I think he summed it up really well, because he sort of said, I usually used to think I had like a pretty good like way of like seeing down the road and like looking around corners and seeing what would come. He said like 20-foot teen. He said, when I try and look into the future now, it's like looking through a shower screen. He said you can kind of see stuff in the background, but you can't tell whether it's friend or foe. And I thought, I don't think I've ever been as apprehensive about a year as I'm apprehensive of this year.
Yeah, that's something. That's one way to put it. Trey Scott, what else is worrying is NATO will also be having its war games. I wouldn't worry about NATO. I would be worried about what the UN is doing and their recruitment, and all the people they're recruiting and placing in Africa. And what are they doing right now? But we got to be careful about those topics.
Yeah. Gone are the days where you can talk about like anything.
On X, we do. I mean, if you follow me on X or you follow Lee on X, we post stuff about this all the time. If you message me on X, I will talk to you. Like, just send me one of those little private chats. I private chat with everybody. Until you get weird or you send me a penis picture, which is Ollie, and
It's
I've asked
all
him
over.
to stop. Yeah, he just doesn't stop.
No, ever.
No, I mean, it's not impressive. It's just it's tiresome at this point.
I mean, it's sometimes you send a picture and be like, is that even angry? It's like mildly irritated.
I mean, it's I don't know. Is that normal over there?
That's Moody just turned around and said there, too spicy for YouTube. Soon everything is going to be too spicy for YouTube. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
We're already there. Yeah.
Realistically, I'm going to be dead honest. It's your guys' fault. You guys are the guys that won't move over to
fucking
Rumble.
whiners.
If we all know that it's like sticking around with an ex that is nice to you. She's really pretty, but she can be a bellend when you're around your mates.
What is your X handle, Lee? Is it
I am no at Alien Eye Addict is Ollie. I am at the Lee Stevens, as you can see.
You have to figure mine out. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it, right? It's really not that hard to figure out. What's up, Squatch? Late to the show.
When do you think's the time where things this is going to start ramping up then? Because it feels.
I don't think it is. I think everything is going to die down until the election cycle, and then things are really going to pop off. I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see everything mellow out. I think it's going to ramp down. I think the federal government is going to back out. They're going to stop pushing. I think you're going to see a little ramp up in Canada. Australia already is. Europe, they're going to try with the farmers and the various people pushing back. And there's so much going on. I can really only try and focus here. I think what is Ollie's Alien Addict?
He's at Alien Eye Addict.
Yeah, that's Ollie. Ollie doesn't talk to nobody. He ain't gonna talk back to you. Only Lee and I do that. Ollie's too good for the show.
To be honest, I think if you search Alien Addict, you will find both Ollie and Dave and some sort of guys in the search.
It's part of the hunt, man. We don't want to give it away. We want you to get out there and find it.
Yeah.
And Squatch will tell you. I talk to everybody. Good Lord, where are you? Who here? I don't know. Yeah, it's. I think you're going to see things ramp down. For numerous reasons, none of which I really want to get onto on YouTube. But I think that's what's going to happen. Now, when the election comes, or probably 2 months before the election, it's going to get nuts.
Does Biden make it to run?
What's that?
Does Biden run?
No, I don't think so.
Would another word you would use for the person that would run in this place be Michael?
Yes. Yeah. I think he'll get the nomination and step down for health reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll pick who goes in. Like they'll do it'll all be very scumbaggy. That's just how they run things, and we'll see how that goes.
Ben just put a fucking excellent point up here saying the Olympics this July. Have you seen the London Olympics ceremony, Dave?
I think that would be a very interesting time for a mass casualty event blamed on a nation state actor everyone's mad over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I think I told you and Ollie a while back, London's the target.
It's not in London.
Is it not? I thought it was in London.
Don't think so.
Where is the summer one? This one?
Because we've only just had we had the Olympics a few years ago, didn't we? Because that was when there was this really weird.
I still think it's going to be London.
There was a really weird ceremony where there was like a 100-foot tall dementor.
Paris. That'd be good. That was one of my top 3 options. Yeah, Paris would be a good one.
That Paris would be an interesting one because Paris is a continual thorn in the side of the World Economic Forum because Paris will protest everything. Banana not being curved enough.
Yeah. All you need some fertilizer, a diesel truck, and shitload of washers and ball bearings.
But
not even the washers and ball bearings, really. It just adds flavor. You don't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah, but to be honest, like I remember when the London Olympics actually happened, like it was because it had already been done. There was a program in the UK. I don't know whether it made it across the pond called Spooks. No.
Say that again.
Spooks.
Spell it.
SBOOKS.
We shouldn't say that on YouTube.
But it was a really famous TV show over here. Like and one of their episodes was a dirty bomb going off. I'm sure it was during the Olympics as well. When it was in London, and it was a big episode for them as well because obviously with the Olympics was planned to be in London anyway, so it's a bit like, well, this is a bit weird. And then there was people like me in the dark days of YouTube coming here, like looking at videos and people saying it's predictive programming, and nothing happened.
Yeah, rotary motion. I'm eating barbecue spare ribs, getting in right mess, typing a bunch in here, sticky keyboard. Yeah, that's why your keyboard's sticky.
Yeah, of course it is.
Right.
Yeah.
We know we're handsome men. We know. It's fine. We're okay. Pay to play, man. It's fine.
Now do it on your rib and eat it.
You bad boy. Give him a countdown from 3.
Maybe I could there was a countdown for the beginning of the intro. Maybe we just do that at the end and everyone can finish.
No, we'll leave it 2. You got to come back for the Sunday show to get 2.
It goes from 2 to see you next week.
See you tomorrow night. That's how we get it. You get 10 to 7 the first night. You get 6 to 3. You get 2 to 1 Sunday. Well, that was quick. It's like it's like a race, like NASCAR F1. All that matters is that you finish first.
I was watching another video today about the idea of like crustal displacement. And
I don't know how this works. Do you know how this works before we go to crustal displacement? How do I be? Oh, you spelled cum wrong. A member.
You need to spell cum right, mate. That's what you need to do.
You subscribe through YouTube, right? You click it, and there should be an option.
Yeah, I think if you're logged into YouTube, it should be just under the video. You can also subscribe on Rumble as well. You can become a subscriber on Rumble too. Do both because I'm greedy.
Because Dad told you so. Tracy's entertained. That's what we're here for. Oh man, it went in a weird direction. Crustal displacement.
Yeah. But I just it really does feel like it's like end of days top trumps at the minute. It's like every and I'm kind of
what a cheery conversation.
Yeah, it's like every conspiracy show I listen to, or everything like it's we might be in the end of days. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear we're in the beginning of days. I want to hear we're at the end of the bad bit and going into the new bit. Even if you just lie to me for an hour.
And how excited did that make you, Moody Mongol? A little too much enthusiasm. Oh, I don't know that crustal. I mean, there's evidence for it, right? The geologic features that form so quickly. That is one of the theories that I am enamored with. That these things can happen fast, and there seems to be evidence that these things happen fast. The how, on the other hand, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not that smart.
I think that's the worst one. Like we talk all the time about what we can do to ourselves. You know, like we with weapons or with viruses or with the things to use to stop the viruses.
And Mother Nature's scary all by herself, man.
Well, this is it, and I like I said, I've said that before a few times when it comes to the global cataclysm thing. I think that might be my biggest fear now. Is that there's just an expiration date on us, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just like every 40,000 years, you just get sent back to zero.
Kind of like the ending of The Abyss, right? When the giant walls of water are going to take everything out. Yeah. So that's what people think. Maybe crustal displacement isn't. Maybe the things that live at the bottom of the ocean are in the earth, whatever they are. Their technology, they can just reform the earth as they see fit.
Yeah.
That's their final solution. Like, how would they wipe us out? Like, we'll fight back. Not if they can generate 1,000-foot fall of water and then just literally reform continents, rise and lower the sea levels. That's terrifying. You lose, and then they'll just reseed and start again.
Well, there's the oceans under oceans, isn't there?
There is. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if I could see that, if that's where the idea of the great deluge comes from, it's some geological event happens that pushes water that should be where it is up.
David Blighty, what's that?
Well, we talk about things we're not smart enough to understand. And realistically, who is smart enough to do it? Because we are.
Oh, nobody. Yeah, nobody. No, people are just
people that know a lot more. So I'm not discrediting people with actual knowledge. But I remember when I found out the deepest we've gone into the earth is like 7.5 miles, because people say 8 miles. I don't think they made 8 miles, did they?
No, they didn't. They stopped just short of 8 miles.
Yeah.
So David Paulides, the missing 411 guy, He did one of his documentaries was about UFOs and abductions and going into that. It's very interesting to watch. And it was very interesting. A gentleman out in the overlay of the map is of people, clusters of people that disappear coincide with cave systems. But there's also another thing in between those cave systems. There's a massive aquifer. It's what, plain states drill down and get water from it in arid places. It's huge. There's several of them in the U.S., many of them, in fact. And one guy was like getting voices and telling him to dig this well, and people were like, "There's no water there." Turned out he was on the edge of one of these underground aquifers. After he dug the well, granted it's like a 2-inch pipe or whatever, UFOs started appearing, like in the sky, popping up all around where it had never been before. It's interesting, and there's other key points that I know I'm missing. It is definitely worth watching. It's very strange. Yeah, Central Kentucky. Yeah, it's bizarre, man. Like we don't know what's down there or around here, and I think it's interesting that the alien community is always, it's from Alpha Centauri, it's from all these different places, and we can see it, and we know, and when I look at that, and I'm just being a full-on conspiracy theorist, how do we even know what any of the planets in the solar system look like? Most of the ones you see are artist renderings. We don't know what the Earth looks like, right? Every photo taken of the Earth looks way different.
Yep.
Right? Because they tell you, oh, it's a photo rendering because we don't have anything that far out to look at. We can only see segments of it, so we have to, collectively. Okay, yeah, I guess. I feel like at this point we should get one, right?
I feel that when we've sent things to, that picture from Mars where there's like the tiny little speck of light, and it's like, you are here, and it shows you where Earth is from the sky of Mars. I can't help think that maybe a third of the way out, it's good, because that satellite, when we send it away, would have got to the perfect distance to have took a really good photograph, or before it went too far to do it. So I don't understand why that wasn't a mission as well. Well, we're firing all these things out, but I don't know. See, the problem is here, you drift into the flat Earth proofs, and it's murky water to start going down there, and it kind of, sometimes I wonder whether that's what the flat Earth conspiracy was for, to ridicule people that question space authority, because if you question NASA now, like if you turn around and say, well, I'm not being funny, but some of those videos that you've done on the International Space Station
are ridiculous,
of people pixelating, of the fucking hair floating around because it's all hairsprayed, of people disappearing when they go through doors instead of actually going through the door because it looks like the masking was put in the wrong place. On the Chinese, the Chinese space station, there was a live video with a fucking glass of water on the table.
Yeah, I love that. That was my favorite.
That's not right.
Have you seen the coffee cup one?
Oh, the coffee cup that doesn't spill.
Then it looks like a vagina.
Yeah, but some like, and people say, "Oh, it's human engineering, bro. You couldn't do it." But so you're telling me that for some reason the coffee that's in the middle of the cup doesn't care about the fucking hole that's above it.
My theory for it is there is a space station up there, but we are not seeing footage from it.
Well, I would take that.
That's the thing. They're not showing us what's actually going on up there.
We can fucking see. You can see it past the moon. Like if you've got you don't even need like an incredible telescope if you know where it is. I know it's a look. You can see the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, well, even down to we know there's like satellites and stuff up there because we even down to the amount of Starlink satellites that are up there now.
I've watched them. I've watched.
I'm going to get Starlink internet as soon as my contract runs out with my current ISP.
Interesting. So this is fun. Moody Mongols. Soviets didn't even get 7 miles a day on. They exaggerated it. Even now, I know that. They certainly are not the ones who have dug the deepest hole on Earth, but they are allowed to BS in the world stage about it. Well. A lot of countries BS. And Squatch, Central Kentucky. So yeah, Mammoth Cave System. Mammoth Cave System goes through most of Kentucky. It goes under Tennessee. I think it goes into North Carolina, maybe Virginia. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the area that I live, there's huge cave systems. There's actually an underground sea not too far. I mean, relative in the American, not too far. So if it's under a 4-hour drive, it's not too far. Yeah, there's lots of them.
Yeah, I think. Oh, just before up there, I think it was Tracy. There we go. Ben Davidson at Some Weatherman would be an amazing guest having your show. I have followed him for absolutely ages on X, and I hadn't thought before now about hitting him up to try and get him on the show. And I promise I will try and I'll send him a message and try and get him on the show. If you happen to have an in any way, shape, or form, then please do so. If any of you guys out there follow people that you think we should get on the show, I want you to tweet them and say, I think you should go on Alien Addict. And then when I message them saying, I think you should come on Alien Addict, they go, oh, hang on a second. Someone else has already said they think I should go on Alien Addict.
Planting the seed.
Yeah. Help
like
me.
The aliens.
Help me help you.
We're planting seeds, kind of like the aliens, because neither of us are asking permission. We're just doing it.
just probing and then hitting the bricks.
Just probing it and leaving. Probing it. Have fun with the alien, baby. Baby.
Coda wants to know who's going to be the next guest tomorrow. Again, we have not again. We have Billy Ray coming on. Oh, you're in the way. There you are. You're gone. We have Billy Ray Valentine on tomorrow. He was supposed to be on 2 weeks ago, and for unforeseen circumstances, he couldn't do it. So he has promised to come on this show. I've spoken to him. I'm going to give him another text. I give him a text right now, actually, to remind him.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to having Billy. I had Billy on my podcast a while ago. We've kind of been in reasonably constant contact ever since. I listen to the Infinite Fringe all the time. He's a great podcaster. To me, like I think he is. Although the Infinite Fringe is successful, he is woefully undervalued. That podcast should be as big as like those conspiracy guys and the higher side chats stuff like that, as should we. But yeah, he's a hugely undervalued person in the world of conspiracy theories and alternative media.
I don't know what that character is doing. What is that? Is my vision that bad? Dabbing, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the cool kids are doing these days. I would love to get Billy Ray Cyrus on here, man. That'd be amazing. I'd love to party with that guy. Only if he still has the mullet. That's what matters. Would you not love to have Billy Ray Cyrus on here? Get him to sing Achy Breaky Heart. Fantastic. I'd love every second of it.
I would, but it wouldn't take long until I was like, come on then, Billy. Come on.
But never heard of him. He has the best name for pros. Billy Ray Valentine is also the name of Eddie Murphy's character in Trading Spaces.
Mm-hmm. I'd be like, what happened to Miley? What club was
she's great.
What club was she given to and for how long?
I don't think she was. She has actual talent.
Oh no, Disney kid.
No, I think she wasn't.
No. Disney.
Justin Bieber, absolutely. That was done by Puff Daddy. Her, I don't think anything happened to her. I don't think she is insane.
I think she's insane.
I think it's an act. I think because here's the thing: Britney, all these people in public eye, they were all perfect, and the reality is they're nuts. Her, she's always been nuts in public, but like something about the vibe she gives is just like, I bet she's actually a pretty normal person.
I can't do a poll from here, so people are just going to have to let us know. MK Ultra or Girl Next Door? Tell me. I'm full.
Oh, I don't think
MK
she's the
Ultra.
girl next door. I didn't say that.
Full MK Ultra.
I don't think
No.
so. I don't think so. I
Yeah,
do not.
The only reason she's been let free is because the Taylor Swift project went so well.
You mean the high priestess of the Church of Satan?
That's the Swiftie.
Yeah. LaVey? Anton's daughter?
Those pictures are fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like that's. Can we bring that up? Like that's worth talking about.
What,
people freaking out? Like now the president of the United States is going to weigh in on AI doing things with her image or whatever. Like, oh, we need to do something. You're going after Swift.
Oh yeah, we can't show the image. You can't search Taylor Swift on X now. Her name is a banned search term. So I don't know whether that.
I'm actually kind of happy about that, right? Like that's a good thing. That means it's going to lower this traffic and we can move away from this nonsense.
Yeah, I mean the Sam Tripoli put a tweet out. I'll have to be careful of the language I use for this.
I have read her book, Moody. and I'll tell you, full disclosure, I've been to a concert. Oh yeah. It wasn't a good concert.
The Taylor Swift stuff, like Sam Tripoli put a post out before saying, are they now clamping down on AI images because they know a certain video from a certain laptop is going to drop?
That was an excellent observation he made.
Yeah, and they need to say that this is AI generated.
Yeah,
because and the thing is as well, or it might not even be the certain video from the certain laptop. It could be any video from the Epstein vault, because if there's so much Epstein stuff, yeah, then some of that is going to leak eventually. And it's at that point you're going to need to be able to say no, that's clearly AI generated, and that's I'm sure we've said that before. You know, I'm sure we've said that on this show before. That the like AI face swap and the deep fake stuff has been put out there because eventually stuff's going to come out, and they're going to need to try and like put the flames out of it before it goes. Because now there was a really interesting video actually. Not really conspiracy theories, but it's kind of got the conspiracy theory undertone. Have you heard of that new video game that's come out that's gone like mental called Pal World?
No, never heard.
And it's essentially some like small developer. I think they might be a Chinese developer, and they've done this before where they've found like a popular game like Hollow Knight or something like that. They've put their own character in it. They've kind of not mixed the assets around, but they've redone the assets, and they've tried to make the same game themselves, just with a fresh coat of paint on it. And it kind of sounds what I would imagine a Chinese game developer to do to Western games. But
there goes the channel.
No, just make them better because Pablo's really good. No, but anyway, so it's very Pokemon inspired, Pal World, like very Pokemon inspired.
That's outside of my conspiracy realm, but I'll keep that in mind.
Hang on.
Wait,
people were really upset because because they thought that the character assets in Pal World were AI generated, and therefore taking work away from graphic designers and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's a load of bullshit as well.
People who get upset about video games and nonsense like that are the fools who are stuck in the system. Like they're the ones who are asleep in the matrix. They're asleep. They're not seeing the reality. They're concerned about nonsense. Speaking of nonsense, Moody says, we could tell you when he's talking about the Britney thing. I got to be honest, if you gave me a personal between Britney and Miley, it's Miley all day.
I got Miley. Oh, what year? Can I time travel?
No, right now.
Oh, right. Oh, no. Yeah, Miley.
Because if we're time traveling, it's definitely Britney. But, but yeah, it is Miley. And it's, I don't know. She gives me the crazy lady vibe of that fierce loyalty. You know what I mean? Like that. If you talk crap about my significant other, I'm gonna cut you. I'm
No,
down
but
for
what
that,
happened?
dude. I vibe with that. That's what I. That's what I marry.
What generally happens
Yeah.
with that vicious loyalty is that they're the girlfriends that get you stabbed because they start things that you then have to try and finish.
No, it's a different girl. That's not fierce loyalty. That's just craziness. Is going to get you killed. I'm talking about the one where, like, you know, if you're not even there and someone references something bad about you, and she's like threatening people's lives now. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I vibe with. That's what it's about right there.
But the interesting, sorry, just to wrap this thing up about bringing that game up, was the interesting thing was there was a video game commentator I was listening to talk about it, and she pointed out like this has such a wider thing because we can't tell if those assets are computer AI generated or not, but that goes for everything now. Yeah. You didn't hear a word I said, did you?
No, I know, because we're talking about the video game, and I'm doing my best to stay with it. And the fact that Moody just said that China did that to him, exactly what you're talking about. They did it to him. And the thing is, like, I'm so removed from that intellectual property ripoff. It's just, of course, they're going to do that. That's why nothing's made there. My best friend, one of my best friends, is an intellectual property attorney, and anything with that has technical, like, this is property, is not made in China. It's just not. They don't respect anything. They look to bootleg and steal. And apparently him and his firm, the only thing that's their saving grace is that they do a terrible job at it. Like, it's just terrible. It's like Russia ripping off our American TV shows, or America ripping off British TV shows.
Yeah. Oh, mind you, I prefer American television to British television. I don't really have a lot of time for British TV. But what I was getting to there is that we're entering this world where we can't believe what we see, and that's, you know, it's you have AI manipulated, and it's I don't think it's against any policies to say this because it's a known thing. Like we've had from all conflicts, including current conflicts, AI manipulated imagery where you don't know what's going on. That looks real, you know. It looks like stuff coming from war zones. And like, what did you do with that? Like, what do we? Because you are crossing into that, right? I know whenever someone puts a camera in a supermarket, it's like, oh my god, it's like 1984. You're like, no, it's not. If you think now is like 1984, you haven't read 1984. But when you get to that point,
that's well said, actually.
Yeah. But if you get to that point where we are retrospectively going back and altering history and altering language, which we are doing, and then you get to the point where the party can manipulate and change what you see to make them believe reality is what they want you to believe it is, then you are going into that Orwellian future that I think anyone that read 1984, I can still remember finishing that book for the first time. I've read it a couple of times now. I can remember finishing that book when I was about 20, and I put the book down, and I was just like, whew. And then I went downstairs and put the news on, and it would have been like something going on in the Middle East. And I'm watching the news going, oh no. Like this is gonna happen to us.
A lot of that latest combat footage that's coming out, and they're claiming these huge victories. Like, when I'm watching it, I'm just thinking, who believes this? Who believes this? This is too modernish military supposed to be fighting, and it's an inert object that's not going anywhere that allows for the drone to get it, or it's like getting a person, or and you're like, where's the rest of his, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
How did you separate him with this drone? Where's the why did you're just looking to catch these guys off by themselves? At some point they haven't learned, hey, don't wander off by ourselves. It doesn't make sense. And they're like, oh, we got this military equipment from said country. Don't you use the same stuff? You just got shipped new stuff. Look at us using the new stuff to blow up their stuff. It's not moving. I feel like you just put it out in the field and shot it with the new stuff to make a video. Throw that on TikTok. It didn't make any sense.
Well, that's it. But this is the thing as well, isn't it? It's like people don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah. Like Squatch just said, we are in a time where it's truly impossible to know what's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the AI.
I don't know where we go from that. Like that. I mean, I still believe that is the biggest gift that Trump becoming president gave us. It completely ripped the narrative of mainstream media down. Like the success of alternative media right now began on the shoulders of Donald Trump. And when he banned CNN from the White House, it was CNN, wasn't it? Did he revoke the? I'm sure he banned CNN.
I think he just gave him shit, but he let everybody in. I mean, that was also the thing is they were like they're different.
Oh, did he stop taking questions from CNN? That's what it was.
Yeah.
But it was just so obvious. Like, regardless of I really do think you have to be, because I don't particularly think Trump's a nice guy. I don't think he's going to fucking save the world. Oh, John Stroke. So yeah, he banned CNN. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't think you can. You can't go back from that. I don't think from from what happened then, because it was such a wake up of all of a sudden we, over the course of that presidency and really quickly over the course of it as well. It was everyone on your television was a liar very near.
No, they still are.
And they still, they absolutely still are. But the thing is, and I've always been a conspiracy theorist, so I've always been a bit distrusting of things. But the fact that it was like, oh, everything, like everything.
Your history books are lies.
Fucking nonsense.
Yeah, your history books are lies written by victors to paint themselves in better light, so you don't know the truth of what's going on. It's like a real student of history is watching what's going on in Texas, and we're like, ooh, we are looking to be about a year out. You know what I mean? And other people are like, it's happening now. It's like, I got a couple books you need to read, not the ones you learned in school, like the good ones. Like the South was right. And this is good from Moody. Said the fact schools are canceling Orwell from the UK state school syllabus. That's scary. I mean, I figured with all the CCTV cameras, like this wasn't a warning. This was a guide,
Squatch, you, sir, are going to have to fill me in on this, or someone else is going to have to fill me in on it, because I don't know if I've mentioned this. I'm sure I must have mentioned it on the show at least a couple of times. Second lockdown during the Great Plague, I got so tired of television. I hadn't even cancelled my subscription, and I pulled the wires out of my satellite box. I was like, right, this household now watches Netflix, YouTube, and Amazon, and we're going to be fucking selective about what we press play to.
Yeah.
I believe, like Elon Musk said the other day, one of it, I can't remember what it was, but he said the X is the best, fastest distributor of news in the world. Now, I don't believe, like, just because I see somebody tweet it, it doesn't necessarily mean I fucking believe it instantly. But I do believe X is it's got the biggest breadth of people you can listen to. So in 30 seconds when a story breaks, there is news about on X, and there is news about it from fucking right, left, and centrists. And you can kind of get a gauge. You can get a much better gauge than sitting down at 10 o'clock and having some guy sat there going, this is the BBC. And so I don't really watch any like mainstream television. Did you hear about the piano guy? This is quite an interesting one that's just happened in the UK. Dave. So there's been this big thing where this YouTuber, Brandon, I think his name is. I actually invited him on the show tonight. I take it an hour and a half in, he's not coming.
They need more. They need more notice than that, I think.
No. I invited him a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of exploded, but he's got like I didn't realize he's got like 2 million followers on YouTube. He's just like a street musician, so he'll go into like the local shopping center where he lives, and Elton John donated a piano to it, and he'll sit and do TikToks of playing music stuff like that. So anyway, the other morning he was starting his live stream, and it was only on my second watch where I realized like something's not up with this situation, because there was him, and behind him there was a Chinese news crew or something like that filming. I'd play the whole thing, but I really can't be bothered. He started playing. The Chinese news crew came over to him and asked him if he was filming. They said, we'd rather, in a roundabout way, we'd rather our faces not be on camera. Can you stop filming? And he loses his shit far too quickly and starts calling them communists. And this whole argument stops. The police come. That evening, he is on Piers Morgan's show, talking about. In fact, I can't remember.
Seems set up. Seems set up.
Well, this was the thing. When I watched it again, he kind of sits down and he kind of introduces them first. Before anyone's spoken to each other, he said, "Oh, I'm just going to play a few tunes, but and he actually calls them Japanese first. He's like, "Oh, the Japanese are here, or maybe Chinese. They're doing some filming. Like, oh, there's a weird vibe today. Something's going to happen, isn't it? If you feel like something's going to happen." And it's 100% set up. And within 24 hours, he'd been on Piers Morgan's show in the evening and Fox News later on in the US. And when you consider they've just done, and it was this whole thing of like, oh, it's a free country. We live in a democracy. We don't live in communist China. You can't do things like that in a democracy. And I thought, motherfuckers, you've just gone from saying they're going to start doing conscription and there might have to be drafts if we go to war, to stirring up racial hatred and going, the communists did it. The communists were trying to stop us listening to our lad play music. That's not the British way. And I just can't. I can't get my head around it.
Yeah, I mean, that is the history of the media. It's nothing new. Of course it's fake. Like in our household, we unplugged from the news and like TV in general 16 years ago. Like since then, we've been on the internet for 16 years. We would just, I'm not saying I downloaded things on a BitTorrent site. I'm just saying, like, Pirate Bay was kind of awesome back in the day.
Moody got it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that's absolutely. That's not a unique thing. That has always been the media. It has always been the media. It's kind of why I zone out on the video game thing. That's the kind of news they want you to focus. That's what they want. They took your favorite video. How about your music? They're ripping off movies that you like. What about this franchise you like? They just want you entertained. They want you entertained and plugged in and enslaved, and not watching people like us who are like, hey, wake up. Real things are happening. They're stealing your liberty. They're stealing your freedom. In fact, most countries, they've got most of it. They've got most of it. In Canada, depending on what you say, you can be charged with a felony for words. Did you misgender them? Going to prison. We got to wake up. We have to take our personal accountability back. Stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. That's
I
the
got
biggest thing. People are
I
hemmed
got a
in with
tweet
fear.
warning today.
I saw that.
Yeah. That was a genuine mistake as well. That was a genuine autocorrect mistake.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's hate speech.
Hate speech.
Hate speech.
I am
on
a
X.
purveyor of hate speech.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. The new, Twitter's new boss seems a lot like the old boss.
I don't know where to put him. I want to believe. That's the thing. And
billionaires don't want money; they want power and control.
That'll kill you.
Yeah.
Well, he clearly doesn't want. He clearly doesn't want money because he's not making. Like I'm sure at some point they can try and make X profitable, but when you consider the investment that way, which was well over market price,
yes,
for a company that isn't instantly going to start making money to recoup that investment. And it's the funny thing is because obviously, like, Musk knows what his plan is, even if it's just chaos, even if he's just an agent of chaos. The thing is, he keeps going on like news programs. Obviously, there's real world investors in this, and saying, "I don't care if Twitter makes money." And his investors go, I kind of do. I'd like a return."
But think about what he did when he bought Twitter, and what he's done with it. For all the different billionaires and powerful people in the world, he has the loudest microphone.
Yes,
he has the loudest microphone, and he can narrate as he sees fit. Just like you can't search Britney, or you can't search Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
He can do that. He can erase what you want in an instant, at a whim.
It's terrifying.
Because at the end of the day, you're on your own. You're always on your own.
Because this is the thing now. Like we've entered a point where like the burning of the Library of Alexandria can be done with a button now, like instantaneously, and not leave any ashes. It's just gone.
My prediction for this next year is a massive cyber attack is coming. It will last 3 days to 14 days. Power will stay on in most places because they can't let infrastructure crumble. But like buying things, that's out. Brownouts, that will cause real problems for people.
I've gotten I'm kind of still in the I'm still in the hope phase of Elon Musk, of like he's one of the good guys. I know it upsets people in the comments but I'm going to believe for a while. Don't get me wrong. If it all goes wrong and he turns out to be the Antichrist, I'm going to go, oh shit, he's the Antichrist. I'm not just going to continue to believe, well, he's got horns. I will. I'm intelligent enough to change direction at some point.
Baron Trump's the Antichrist.
I believe the.
He's definitely a Nephilim. He's a giant.
I was going to say that would get pulled on on YouTube for that, but I think you can say whatever you want about Trumps and you won't get pulled on.
We can trash Baron Trump. They'll only kick us higher in the algorithm. We should make a regular point of it. Yeah, Baron's Nephilim, Trump's the Antichrist, Satan. Yeah.
But yeah. I've been thinking about this whole cyber attack thing. And from a conspiratorial standpoint of the like what we do and the great cabal and whoever's up there, then it's going to be kind of like the plague, where it was
the real one or the
no
last one
that's what I mean, like the last one, and it wasn't.
I'm fine with that.
But this is the thing, it was a plague, but it wasn't really a plague. And I think the cyber attack is going to be like this because they're going to want you and me to lose internet connection, but they're not going to want to lose their internet connection. They're not going to want to lose that power that they've got over people.
So when I say cyber attack, I don't think it's not going to be against the internet. It'll be against various hosting sites. Like if they take down a couple Amazon hubs,
right?
Not only that, if they go after the control mechanisms for like various industry. mostly point of sale systems, and they're processed and the security behind it. If there was a unknown zero day and suddenly Visa, MasterCard no longer worked and were no longer secure or no longer accepted. Whoa. Now everybody has to go to the bank to get cash. That's not something everyone does. Not anymore. Is there enough cash in the bank?
But that's what I was going to say.
Bank
That forces a run on the banks then. That's interesting.
Bringing people together.
I mean, like, I haven't got a great deal of money. In fact, there's various scenarios where that situation happens, and the day after, I'm better off.
I become a warlord the next day. I start saying, "This is all mine now." Yeah.
But, yeah, but that's one of the things if Musk is truly like, he doesn't have to be like the good guy. He just needs to be not as bad as the other guys. And a bit of me wonders whether that's what Starlink's for. Like, we've already seen where he's able to move those things around and provide internet services to other other parts that wouldn't normally have it. And I wonder how useful that would be in the event of a cyber attack.
Yeah. So this is good.
Oh, Terrestrial Material, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? Why would they fight themselves? It wouldn't be successful if they did that. Remember, the internet is a hand-me-down from the military government, which means they replaced it with something. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing of like the internet 2 and stuff that's been floated for a long time. Like that was being floated back in the Clinton day, wasn't it? Or was it? Or maybe it was like early Obama day. I can't remember.
I believe it was Clinton. Yeah.
Was it? Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah. It was definitely Bush. That's who I was forgetting. And because there was all like worries, wasn't there? Where, well, what they're going to do? They're going to replace the internet with apps. So you just turn your computer on. You don't get websites anymore. You can only go to CNN. You can only go to Fox News. And it was probably being shouted at me from Alex Jones. And
love that madman.
Little did we know they didn't need to do that because they could just turn him off.
Yes, and they can do that to anybody. Elon's helped make it a little more difficult. I don't know where Elon falls. I think he's just a wild agent of chaos, independent out there, who's has a lot of money and he's having fun with it. But yeah, they I mean, like military. Yeah, the internet goes down. The military, no, they can still talk. They're fine.
Yeah,
that has secure communications, and they're like. So the thing is, to go back to terrestrial material, like what would the government strategy to fight a cyber attack against who? Against who? The three biggest threats in the world for cybersecurity, Russia and China aren't in that list. North Korea is not in that list. The three who are out there doing it are the U.S., the UK, and Israel. That's who's out there doing it.
The UK, motion just put 53. Is that it? Is it a 50? There's like 37th Brigade, something like that. Is the UK one, like UK's like cyber terrorism sort of organization?
Don't know. Why would you assume I would know something like that, Lee?
But the British are so good at it. We export it, don't we?
Yes. So does that's the thing. You're so good at it. You talk about how you export it. The Israelis are so good about it. They don't talk about how they export it, and they go to persons and get crazy amounts of money to erase things off the internet. It's called the Black Cube.
And I remember there was a thing, wasn't there, years ago with that? It was a big lawsuit with Google, which was clearly lost, called the right to disappear. And somebody had someone was clearly had the future well in their sights, and they were saying, well, hang on a second, Everyone's signing up for all these things. Everything wants your email address. Everyone wants to know where you live. There should be like an internet wipe button. So if you just turn around and say like, I don't want any part in this anymore, you can just go in, put your name and details on, and it will erase your presence from the internet. And yeah, that it was called the right to disappear. And I remember it happening, and then I remember it quickly disappearing.
Yeah. Believe me, if they're taking the time to put plants on our show, we're all lost.
Yeah. I don't think we've had plants in our show. A couple of shrubs, maybe.
Definitely some adjacent foliage, but no plants. Ask yourself this: what does the cyber attack need more than anything? In fact, we need to leave, else we die. Any guesses? Well, we all need electricity. They won't do electricity. So they won't do electricity because electricity will take like a rolling brownout. Absolutely. Long term, no electric. Absolutely not. Infrastructure will crumble in the Western world because it hasn't been maintained. Not as it should. And that's every Western country. It's just not up to snuff. And it's like people talk about no electricity as that's the end all be all, but it's the externalities of not having electricity. So no electricity. Yes, your refrigerator doesn't run, things like that. But if you have a generator, you can buy time. If you have solar, you can buy time. You don't need your air heat. And there's different things you can do. But your sewage plants go down. Your water plants go down. Your water tanks eventually run out. And then those lines carrying that, depending on how old they are, maybe like the one that feeds New York City, has to maintain pressure. Otherwise, it will collapse. There's multiple cities like that. Just have little bits of the infrastructure that'll fall apart. And then it washes out a road, and then it, takes out a bridge, and just one after another as the train gets rolling is bad. Like in emergencies, when power goes down for any substantial time, I believe it's like 3 days or whatever, like in the U.S. National Guard are rolling generators, at least to the emergency services of, water and sewer. Because like sewer, so depending on how the sewer plant operates, some of these things that go through muffin monsters, they go through pumps. You can't have sewage sitting in there because of the corrosive nature of sewage. It sits in there for a month. Those pumps are gone, and those pumps are wildly expensive and difficult to make. I don't see the powers that be coming for the electricity. I think they want you thinking that, so that way while you have it on, you feel like at least they didn't take the electricity, we're going to be okay. While they continue to sow fear and discourse and take away your ability to buy things, slow down banking, slow down logistics and shipping. Look what happened with the pandemic and logistics. Look at the groceries.
I think a lot of this is fear. I do.
Yeah.
I think
they want fear.
I think people need to remember as well. I mean, I think we're shaken because of what happened for like a few years ago. But we should remember that most conspiracy theories and most worries we have around conspiracy theories don't actually happen. Most people that come on saying go, I remember like if those people listening back in the day watching like the Jade Helm, the martial law exercises they did. Was it New York they did Jade Helm? Or
they did across America.
Across
America.
Yeah. And
which is ridiculous. They do things like that all the time. Like,
yeah.
It was just a spin from the media.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same way. Like if you talk about the infrastructure collapsing, for instance, all we hear is from and I love Alex Jones. I do. I really do. I love listening to his stuff. I think there's a lot of insight comes from that man, but there's also a lot of hyperboil because at the end of the day, I think he does believe what he's doing, but I think he also wants to sell those vitamin pills.
Like we want to sell T-shirts. Do we have a T-shirt we can pop up for people to put?
Yeah. Where's my mouse?
We have a link tree in the description. Check it out. Buy one. Hopefully sweatshirts will be up soon.
The have an orb ape or a me. That's the one you really want. Let's be honest, because in black, that looks good in black. That looks good. Good.
What about white? Doesn't look good in white.
It looks better in black. It looks better in black.
I like it.
But
more.
yeah, the thing with with conspiracy theories, like I say, most of them don't happen. We've been predicting the end of the world for a long time. The problem is that after
the world
what's
keeps
happened,
going.
yeah, well,
The
yeah,
world
but
keeps
after
going.
what's happening is we've seen that there might be some teeth behind the eyes now, and I think that's what's kind of scares people. I mean, does that mean that we should just fucking not worry about things like what's going to happen with like central bank digital currencies and the World Economic Forum and all that sort of stuff? I think we have to keep we have to keep talking about it. We have to keep an eye on it. But the idea of these like cataclysm things where like all the power goes out, or an EMP thing and stuff, like it would turn cities into wastelands. So but there's two stories that we constantly have. We keep being told by Alex Jones and people like Alex Jones that they're trying to herd us into cities because they want us all to live in mega cities. They want us to live in pods in mega cities, and then
they're going to destroy them.
Then the next breath, it's like, no, they're going to do this, and then everyone is going to be gone in the cities in like 3 days. You need to head out to the country. So it can't be both. They can't destroy and create at the same time. They can destroy then create, but they can't do them at the same time.
Yeah,
and it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't make sense to just destroy civilization unless it is unless there is something else behind it, and it's not about power at all, and it's about a mission. And that's really worrying if that's the case.
I mean that's a different thing, and we got some people coming up I can't wait to talk about that with. I think the thing is, I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's all of those things. I think it's people who want power. I think it's people who have a corrupt belief system and all these different factions, right? Just like we started out talking about the chick that was on Joe Rogan. What faction is she with that's trying to get into Joe Rogan's side, which is trying to slide in there? You know what I mean? Who is it? Who's trying? I mean, we don't know those things because it's a game being played above us. So one, I like to speculate because it's kind of fun. But mostly I just live my life. And if you take a little time and a little preparation, whether it's cyber attack or a terrorist attack or aliens come down and want to meet our leaders, if you took a little bit of preparation, you're going to be able to ride out the bumpy patches. That's all you have to be able to do is keep your head calm, protect your family, keep yourselves fed and clean, take care of any little first aid, and ride it through. Yeah, aliens don't need our power. I think if aliens show up, it's not going to be like anything in a sci-fi. It's going to be something trying to declare they're an angelic benevolence who's been here with man, and they want to enlighten us and have us move forward with them. You're going to see that language of working together to bring us back up and blah, 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 test. That is the worst case scenario for me, because that means you're about to have like Nephilim walk the earth again. The old cast down things are back and they want blood. And the leaders are sold out. To me, that's bad. What do you think of the Fessler show and its connection to Richard Doty? For me, Doty is playing his games on the cast of the show, but what do you think? I haven't seen the show. I don't watch any other shows.
No, I'm the same. I don't watch them. I would like to get Doty on this show. That'd be really interesting. I'd love to speak to the guy. He is, I mean, a permanent fixture in ufology. God,
he's a legend. He's a living legend.
Yeah. So
good or bad, right?
Yeah.
That's
modern day folklore. That's a better way to put it. Modern day folklore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think there is. And one thing I've noticed through speaking to other channels, speaking to other people that come on, what we referred to before when we said that we haven't had any plants here, but we've definitely had some vegetation creeping around. I think that YouTube and even like modest sized channels like us and channels, obviously then channels that are bigger, the level of infiltration and not just people on screen, like people in the comments, stuff like that. Manipulation that goes on social media. It's like it's took I spent 2 years. I spent 2 years with the same amount of Twitter followers, like the same amount, exactly the same. Like I'd gain 2, I'd lose 2, and I was constantly at the same. That's only started to change recently. So that's just be careful what you trust, I think is the real answer. You can obviously trust us because you're part of our
Trust
cult.
us.
Yeah.
Send us money. Your credit cards would be fantastic. Buy some shirts.
Yeah. And if you do send your credit cards, make sure you don't even have to send the whole card. Just
just buy some crypto, donate it. We'd
3 digits on the back as well. But
I'd rather have the crypto.
But yeah, I think it's very possible that there is people that go on shows that push stuff. Just as busy work. I don't know whether UFO stuff's coming. It's definitely ramping up. There's no doubt about that. It continues to move. I think we shouldn't ignore the fact that all of a sudden, like, we are due something now. Like the way that the news cycle has worked from like back at the shooting UFOs down over Canada, or the Las Vegas alien guy, the thing the other week ago, the Miami Mall situation. Yeah. Right. So regardless of what actually happened there, regardless of what the reality is, I think the reality of that is fucking strange. I don't know what it is. I think it's strange.
Oh,
yeah.
I
don't think it's kids with sticks.
No.
And I do think that video of something moving around outside, the 2 videos, because there was another really good one as well, do seem awfully bloody odd.
It's funny you said that, because man, it's still not talked about.
But the thing is,
it says everything needs to be said about it, right? It's a perpetual pause.
But we now live in a world where for a week it was completely normal to have all of the Miami police scramble to a mall. Because now apparently it's come out that air traffic wasn't shut down in the area, but there's people saying that that's been altered in some way, and air traffic was shut down. The police scanners were definitely shut down.
The police scanners were down. The air traffic that was up was police helicopters, because during the night when that was going on, I was watching it, and people were like, look at this. All the air traffic's now been diverted around Miami. What's going on? Like, International's not landing people. And they do. They absolutely change the story afterwards. I like that Moody said, Lee and Dave will also accept your firstborn. In fact, we will not. I have enough kids.
I'm good. I'm happy with my own children. But what I was going to say was the fact that for a week that happened, and it was completely normal. You've always got a retention, Squatch. Always.
Definitely.
And I just find that wild that it was just like, oh well, there's another UFO story. What was this one? Oh, there was Nephilim walking around outside a Miami Mall. All right, okay.
That'd be fine, Mayhem, but no, you have to be nude. Ask Squatch. That's how it goes. Yeah.
These guests, if you speak to me on X, DM me with guests that you would like us to get on. And like I say, if you want people to come on and you want people to notice us, then share the links to them, tweet them with our show. And then when I get in touch with them, they'll have already heard of Alien Addict. And the fact that you guys care enough to go and speak to them will make it more likely that we'll be able to get bigger guests.
Yeah, if you tell them, hey, I'd love for you guys to talk to them, that would really help us. And speaking of the Miami thing, said they knocked out 4 blocks of electricity. Now, here's the question I have. Did they knock out 4 blocks of electricity, or did the event that occurs suck up 4 blocks of electricity?
Or did the event knock it out?
Yeah. Was that the externality of the event? We don't know.
What I would say is that apart from the mall, there did seem to be a lot of lights on around the area.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think we'll ever really get to the bottom of what that was. But there was, tell you, like I say, all I know is it wasn't a few kids with sticks.
It wasn't kids with sticks. It wasn't kids with sticks. Like maybe a terrorist attack. That was the first thing that went through my mind. But then they would have had fire trucks there at the minimum. And they did.
There was no ambulances either. There was somebody. I was listening to a podcast the other day with a guy that works for as a first responder in the paramedic, and the guy that was on saying, he said we didn't send any ambulances. He said, and that's unheard of. He said if you get like a couple of police cars go somewhere like that, you get an ambulance with it. There's an ambulance too, and it was just police. And you know what that makes me wonder? Were they police?
They were police. Because other people had, like other cops and stuff, have been threatened with their pensions and retirement.
Oh no, I'm sure there was police. There was police involved there. But inside that was the people that knew what was going down. And the other one was the were the police scrambled for I'm sure they were told that they were going to an event. Yeah. Or were they there to just get everybody out?
They were probably put there on evacuation, like, hey, evacuate these people. That's the thing is, there's no way you're going to be able to debrief that many cops in that kind of time. Like, it's just they're not organized, they're not efficient. It's not a TV show. They're just people. And if you start trying to debrief, there's always stupid questions when you need to act. So it's easier just to give orders. Hey, get everyone out. Like that. That's the purpose here. The fact there were no fire trucks makes me think it wasn't terrorist. It would have been fire trucks.
Pointed out this is true. The same event happened last year, where there was a
dimensional doorway that's open.
It was almost like they recycled an old news story to do something now,
or it happened twice. So, like what did they energy beam on Easter Island? Are they trying to kill something?
Or did
something trying to come through?
Yeah,
and they're like, all right, fire the lady. Maybe that's the truth of Maui. Maybe the fires weren't, the rich want this land. Maybe they're like, it's happening again. Fire it. This is what we've been waiting for. What about the people? Nothing we can do about that. We have to stop it now. Ooh, that's a scary thought.
Joe, it's an even scarier thought. It's an even scarier thought to think that like the people that we keep making horrible stories up are actually trying to protect us.
I think that there's I need to get this right because I don't want to say it wrong. So go ahead and carry it for a second. I got to look it up. Just because I don't want to say the wrong sides. I'll tell you afterwards, and then we'll debate if we even want to bring it up. But it is uncomfortable. Anyway, I think that's a good point.
It's well, 2 hours and 9 minutes. I think everyone has had their pound of flesh from us. Thank you for spending a couple of hours with us on this fine Saturday evening. Thank you for enjoying the new show. It's good therapy, I think, for everybody. I mean, it's either therapy or it's reverse therapy. It's one of the two.
We're making our mental illnesses worse. That's very possible.
Again, if you have extra pennies in your pocket that you don't want, you go, these pennies are weighing my pockets down. I can't keep my pants up. I don't have a good enough
go rob somebody.
Yeah.
And
then spend that money. Then spend that money buying one of our lovely t-shirts. The Sasquatch on Holiday t-shirt. Oops, that's us. The MH370 didn't disappear itself. Bigfoot orbs. And obviously the pièce de résistance, the Ferry Lee t-shirt.
Definitely buy something. It means a lot.
See you later, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Remember, we've got a podcast. If you want to listen to this again or you want to listen to one of the other shows, 5-star reviews on that only, please.
Interview
Bye-bye.
tomorrow. Bye. I do like this style.
I do as well. I think it's good. This isn't the usual the way we end it positively.
No, I mean we're still getting dick pics, I'm sure, but yeah, it was gonna be.
You can only hope.